Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
I get it. Albaka.
Important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyingi.
Okay. Nsila ID soto.
Sorry. I get it.
Bijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara alla service o tariaka. Mbare ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Janno mi Yonna forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbari ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe to.
56 branches mola sota Gambia jam.
Ha?
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol. Nko kodo kiya bere to. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta même na kodi to poto ni kodi maraw. Jannom number 1 di nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi mani domorol dil fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat.
Apelenta
baraka ni lafta nyelen kendol e binaji.
Yalo bukani la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yonna Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yonna Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yonna Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yonna Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yonna Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yonna head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yonna branch located countrywide near you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the brunch on Kerfatu Live. I'm Lamin Cham. This is our weekly look at current affairs. Once again, Ramadan Mubarak to all our Muslim viewers, as well as Lent for our Christian brothers and sisters. This afternoon, I have in the studio a very privileged guest. Ustaz Imam Baba Leigh is the Imam of Kanifing East Mosque, and he is a commissioner of the National Human Rights Commission. Ustaz, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Cham. I'm very glad for this invitation and this particular time and date. Thank you.
Good. Imam Leigh, of course, is a well-known personality both in the religious and other aspects of life in the Gambia. He was famous for his outspokenness during the dictatorship years of Yaya Jammeh, when he had very, very controversial sermons that hit at the very core of Jammeh's dictatorship. He had a big fallout with the regime and had to flee for his life to the United States of America. Well, the rest, they said, is history. He has long been back and still continue to his advocacy for truth, justice, and whatever you name it. He's now commissioner, perhaps not by accident, commissioner of National Human Rights Commission. He continues to be an imam. He's still heading the Kanifing East Mosque. Very well known for very, very pertinent sermons Fridays during those days. Ustaz, before we do anything, we are in the Ramadan. And I'm sure we may well be on the last day, which is very good news for Likunda people. So, if you reflect, how would you see this Ramadan, this year, Ramadan being compared to last year?
Well, Alhamdulillah, thank you very much, but you just start stealing the show. Because really, if anybody look at your face today, the way active you are today,
I'm shying.
I'm so energetic because of the hope you have for the end of this holy month.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Cham, we just have to say Alhamdulillah. Thinking years back, before Jammeh, during Jammeh, and today, the Ramadan is completely different. And it is different without force, without any dictatorial ideas. In the sense that we begin our Ramadan in different dates.
Yes.
You had never had any imam been arrested or humiliated or threatened. That itself, I mean, deserve for a great appreciation. If you can remember a few years back, politics and the government intervened so much in our religious activities, which is a normal trend for any dictator. Because dictators, they want to be looked in a very mystic way. They want to be seen as very religious people. They want to be seen as people knows beyond human knowledge and the like.
Yeah.
So that gave us problem. People like me, I was always in trouble when the Ramadan is approaching and when it's going.
Yeah.
Because there are certain days, if you fast, you have a problem, especially being an imam.
Imam, yeah.
And for me, I really believe I should practice what I believe, and what I believe should be something that I live in. So that was that's number one. Number two, if you want to talk about the generosity of Gambians, especially during Ramadan, is unmeasurable. People, those who have more than their need, they have sacrificed a lot for those who are in need, really. You know, maybe one like Cham will not know it, but people like me at my position, where many needy peoples approach for their needs, for food, for their need, for medical treatment, their need, for their children, even clothing.
Absolutely.
And really, it's very interesting. It's very interesting in the sense that just yesterday, one very good friend of mine, but he's a very strong Christian.
Yeah.
He came to my house with beautiful dresses, 6 to 7 of them, and gave them to me and say, you help your needy congregation who need this dress. Can you imagine?
Amazing.
I know he will not like me to mention his name, and I may not.
But that happened.
But really, that happened, and those dresses are so beautiful. I told him I'm not going to give out all of them because I like beautiful things. I took one, and the rest I gave it out.
Yeah,
so you can imagine. That's why I want to seize this opportunity. To congratulate both Muslims and Christians, because we are in our Ramadan and they are in their Lent. As the Holy Quran said, Ya alladhina amanu kutiba alaykum siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Allah said, I have destined Ramadan, make it an obligatory to you Muslim, all believers, as I did it those before you. And Christianity came before Islam. That means Christians were keeping fast before us. And for the goodness of the Almighty, He made them together today. We are in the same day with the Western, the lunar month, and we are in the same fast with the Christians, and we are exchanging gifts, we are visiting each other. This is lovely. Absolutely. It's lovely. This is the way human society should be. So, you know, and knowing very well the kind of leadership also we have, politically speaking, they love peace, they preach peace, and they advocate for peace. You know, at times some of us even go beyond line. We may give out very hot sermons, which are very inciting and can create tension, but not like before. Before you are arrested and sent to jail. But this time, the minister responsible for religious affairs himself will invite you, or even the president. I know some of us.
But they themselves had begun to be a little bit intolerant. Last year, for example, the minister had to give a caution for some of your colleagues not to overstep their boundaries. I even spoke of possibly introducing licensing for
No, you know, I don't know.
Oh, it's just to put them on their toes.
Yeah, I don't know what you call some of them were, or what, how do you, the word you use right now? Intolerant.
Of course. Oh, yes, intolerant.
I don't understand, but he who came from Jammeh's regime, for him, I haven't seen anything yet that one can call
intolerance.
As intolerant.
Or maybe signs.
Yes, in the sense that they know their responsibilities too.
Yeah.
Because some of us, when I say us, I mean we the imams, I mean we mention in our sermons, which is not Quranic, it's not even Islamic, and it can incite fitna. That means there are a lot of hate speeches that you can hear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
You know it very well. And such, hate speeches can spark trouble at any given time. So any responsible authority...
But somebody could say, well, here is Baba Leigh speaking. When he was here, on the Jamano was here, he was more outspoken. And they didn't call you...
Actually, they are saying...
the difference now?
No, actually, they are saying that. They are saying that loudly.
They are saying it loud and clear.
Yeah, but...
they believe that now you are changing your tone.
No. I'm very consistent. The issue is, that is what they are missing. At that time, there's a leader who does not open his doors for me. If I have anything to complain, I only have my pulpit or the newspapers. You understand? But here is a leader that I have today. If I contact the protocol, I ask him an appointment, I give the appointment. So, if you are privileged to be able to access all authorities, why are you, going outside howling and louting? It's not necessary. You have already achieved your objective because they are the policy makers.
Have you tried during Jammeh's days to see him over East?
Of course.
And he would not.
Jammeh and Barrow are different even to me.
I know many messages.
Because the reason is, I know Jammeh long before he became a president.
Yes, that's true.
And we had that relation.
Which would have been easier.
Yeah. So, but in the beginning, I had the access. But less than 2 months, I would do doors and windows. Everything was closed to me. I couldn't see him. And I you know, whether you like it or not, I don't want to use the word stubborn, but my opinion, I must make it loud and clear.
Okay.
If they want to hear it, fine. And let me tell you, I haven't seen yet any extremism like what was happening during the IS time. Arresting people missing, torturing, seizing people's properties, and the like. That was not a secret. And in fact, he himself, he used to say it in his speech that anybody is go 6 feet deep.
Yeah, that's true.
You see, so really people, you know, Gambians forget very quickly.
Yeah.
Because if you imagine, Mr. Cham, traveling from Banyul to Fonyi, from Banyul to Gunyu, throwing biscuits, young kids are hit by cars and dying. No Imam should keep quiet on those things. Life is very prestigious. You understand? So that irritates me to talk, and that's what's happening now.
Okay. All right.
And before you go take the mic, even, how many journalists you have in detention right now?
None.
Were you able to leave 2-3 months without getting one of your people behind bars?
No, everybody knows
thank you.
The marked difference before we leave the Ramadan.
Yes.
Well, today, like I said, may well be the last day. Or
you are very happy of last day.
Well, not that. So, or because you know, in the Gambia, you have two school of thoughts when it comes to this Eid matters. You mentioned, of course, now we can hold Eid or start the fasting on different days, and there'll be no repercussions from the government side or so. What do you hear? Are we likely to pray tomorrow? Or because there are people saying on Monday.
Well, I had, you know, I'm a very big TikToker, and I'm very much related to this internet issues. Yesterday, I had an information, and I saw it is in my phone even, that in Egypt, they have used their equipments. You know, technology is very advanced today. They have sighted the moon that will appear tonight, this evening, and they said it's going to be visible in Saudi for 7 minutes, and it's going to be visible in Sudan for 5 minutes.
Interesting.
And it's going to be visible some other areas in the world, but it's going to be very fast. You understand? So, for that matter, for them, they said this year, the Ramadan is 29 days. If that happens, that means tomorrow the chairman will celebrate. You understand?
Okay.
If at all.
But how does it work? Do we have to go by this in terms of what the Quran said? If you have not seen it, but you had credible people who cited it, should we go by this information from, was it Egypt? Whereas we didn't see it. For example, it might be 5 seconds in those places, here 1 second or so. If we fail to see it, should we go by this information from
Egypt? You know,
Egypt?
Mr. Cham, it's a matter of interpretation. Because the way it is in the Holy Quran, فَمَنْ سَهِدَ مِنْكُمْ شَهْرَ فَلْيَصُومْ. Minkum. The word minkum is plural. Minkum cover the whole world.
Yeah.
Any one of you, some of you who have witnessed the moon, keep fast. Any one of you who have witnessed it during the end of the Ramadan, you can break fast. It's clear. So those, some of us, and I'm one of them, we take the minkum as ummah. Ummah al-Islamiyya.
The whole Islamic
The whole Islamic world. Because we are urged by our Prophet to trust each other. I cannot be an Imam here, trust only what I know, and question what Imam Abdullah Fati knows. And we are all Muslim. We have one Prophet, one Rasul, and one Quran.
Exactly.
So I am urged to trust if Abdullah Fati said, I have seen the moon, or somebody I trust have seen the moon, or somebody that somebody trusts have seen the moon, to rely on them. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to gain? No one gain anything.
Yeah.
To say I have seen the moon, or I have seen somebody, or I have heard somebody, I have seen the moon. Nothing to gain, absolutely. There is no pride to be awarded. So that's why for me, I take that minkum very plural, and I related with the Ummah, the Ummatul Islamiyya,
Yeah.
the one in Afghanistan, the one in the Gambia, the one we are all Ummah, and the moon is one.
Yeah.
But geographical areas might be different. But no matter how different they are, they're different in hours. So you can see it today at your 1 o'clock, whilst I'm in 10 o'clock.
Yes, that's true.
But to have that kind of argument, it's not legitimate or it's not permissible. It's very permissible because a Muslim should, number one, trust his very self and to perform according to his satisfaction. That is his intention. That's why the Holy, our beloved Prophet is saying, "Innamal a'malu binniyat wa innama likulli imri'in ma nawa." So that's the reason. So really, because of being a lunatic moon, there is always differences. These have been like this long time ago.
What do you make of people who, despite all this evidence of this presence of this technology, which is often very accurate, and the fact that we have only 3 hours between us and Saudi Arabia, people will not observe it until the next day because they have a preconceived or predetermined decision that we are going to pray on Monday, no matter what information comes from any other quarters.
Yeah,
How do we address that?
People trust their chosen ones.
But must there be chosen ones?
Yes.
I think there's only one pathway.
Yeah, there's only one pathway, but others are here, especially the Sufism section, will tell you my sheikh, my sherin, it doesn't give me an authority, legal-like, so I will not pass.
No, welcome. This is where Jammeh had trouble.
Yes, especially the Muridi said, for them, they don't even bother to look at it, most of them. But when the sheikh said, have been seen, they agree. If they say no, it's no. For them, that's the concept they have. You understand?
That's where Jammeh used. That's what Jammeh couldn't understand.
Jammeh is because of dictatorial elements. That's all, because he's not responsible for that.
So he means you have just let
yes, you see, in Islam, Islam have give human being absolute freedom when it comes to worshipping, or the way you know it. The Almighty said, I have directed you the right path and the wrong path. And I gave you brain as a human being to think. If you decide to choose the wrong path, it's up to you. That's what you are going to be rewarded. If you choose the right path, that's what you are going to be rewarded. So it's up to you. You get me? So really, there is nothing like prayer, so that the Imam, anybody who does not pray today, you will find yourself behind bars. It should not be a crime. You know, Islamically, Allah is the rewarder, and nobody reward except Him. And Allah is the only one who have the quality and the qualification and the entitlement to punish His servants. You understand? So that's
what Jammeh said. He did this thing to avoid division. Because he saw this as a division. Why would everybody who's claimed to be Muslims, should go by the dictates of the Quran. If you have seen or heard somebody credible who had seen it. But then if you have your fixed, predetermined concept that I'm going to do this on this day, no matter what happens, Jammeh think that this is dividing.
No, but Jammeh is the most divisive person. He is the most divisive person.
We are trying to get the context.
The context here. Yeah. We have to open the context. He used to do is his argument had always been, I don't want religion divided in my country. But he want politics to divide our country, one tribe to be divided in our country, and he championed it. Okay. So are you telling me he's not divided? He's the most divisive person.
Correct.
He used to call certain tribe by their names and insult them.
Absolutely.
So this man is a hypocrite. That's what I have to say. Okay. Of course he is. Right. Because you cannot you want to be a unifier. At the same time, you divide everything. That's not right. Okay. So he was using those kind of ping pong games to fool people, to keep his authority existing all the time. Those who understand him well, who knows him, will define him, obviously. Yes.
Okay. Personally, before we go on to human rights, we will discuss government's privatization. We will discuss various areas, in this 1 hour or so. You have always held a view that most people in your domain see as controversial, to say the least, because some see it as outrageous. Why are you always in disagreement with some of these imams or preachers? People who felt that your way, they think your way is waywardness.
I don't understand what you're trying to say here. Because for me, I don't think I have different with any religious leader.
For example, your thoughts on FGM, your thoughts on your activities, that what we will call your advocacy for human rights, sometimes they come in conflict with what these other preachers will think. Well, this is perhaps...
Well, but Cham, we have been together all along.
Yeah.
We have been together all along.
Yeah.
And you know the facts. Wherever I'm indifferent with, at the end of the day, I win. Because I call it as it is. If FGM was mentioned in the Holy Quran, if it was practiced by all prophets, it was I will be number one person to do it. If there was no medical report, scientific proven beyond all doubt that is harmful, I'll never go against it. I'm a Muslim. You understand? But the harm is far bigger than, there is no benefit in fact. You understand? It is in the name of culture, in the name of tradition. And you know, me being a Hal Pular, for example, the Fulanis, normally they mark their faces.
Yeah.
But when I know it's a tradition, do I did it?
No, you
I will never do it. It just like that, and it goes on and on and on. So, you know, people like Demba Jawo always call me, you know, he's my boy.
Yeah.
That you are controversial, Imam, this and that. I think the most controversial person.
Well.
Demba is the most controversial person. You see, so really, I believe I'm very much friendly with all the imams. And even if you come to my house, the number of imams visiting me and I'm moving with imams, I'm the only imams who, wherever you see me, and we 10 to 11 to 20 imams with me. So I'm very friendly with them. I'm very much related with them. And I love them all. But that doesn't mean we will not have different. You know, your best friend, at times you have difference with him.
Absolutely.
That is the real difference. And there are certain issues in Islam, they are agreeable. And FGM is one of them. FGM is one of them. There are certain issues, they are agreeable. The sighting of the moon is one of them. So you cannot takfir a fellow Muslim that he's a kafir, he's a Jahannamading, because he goes against it. You know, those who condemn me at times, even they don't know me. They don't even know me. I saw one, I think it was a naming ceremony in the TikTok, in the YouTube. He leave all the topic. All the topic was about Imam Babali, Kafir, Olem, Jahannamadi, Olem, Tending, you know, I don't know even that boy. The other day we met, we shook hands. I don't know him. After the one I go to, do you know this man? I said, no, he's the one who was on the YouTube attacking you. Right. I said, that's the way it is. And that is what popularity goes with. People will unnecessarily attack you when they don't know you. But basically, I'm a Muslim. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
And I strongly believe that Islam does not force me or give me the responsibility to keep going condemning people, like the issue of Ahmadis.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming there.
It was a see.
That's apart from what you have, the area that I said many people think your views are, well, to them outrageous, like this FGM. You also seem to have a lot of tolerance for Ahmadiyyas and other sects that most people from these main sects don't agree with.
Yeah, you know, I'm not asked
Go ahead, yes.
to condemn or to create enmity based on my faith. In fact, my faith urged me
Yes.
to talk to them, to relate with them in love and respect. And if I am to preach, let me choose my words. That's why the Holy Quran is saying, "Ut'u ila sabili rabbika bihikmatin wa mau'izatin hasana wa jadilhum billati hiya ahsan." Look at this frame, how beautiful it is.
Okay.
It's very beautiful.
What did he say exactly?
You see, what he's saying is, talk to them in respect.
Convince them.
Convince them.
Persuade them.
Show them good examples. And if you are to argue with them with wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan. Jadil means the best chosen words.
I see. The most polite.
The most polite words. You know, they know it. All my colleagues know what I'm talking about. It's a Holy Quran. It's a text in the Holy Quran. They know it more than I do. So really, if I see, and there's nobody, no human being that you are not related in many ways. For example, let us take Ahmadis as a religion or a concept, because they have different concepts in Islam, but they claim to be Muslims.
Yes.
And I agree they are Muslims. For me, I agree they are Muslims. If Pakistan...
How do you reconcile the fact that the main sect Muslims argument is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the sole messenger as far as Islam is concerned? Now, if somebody thinks that somebody else is another prophet, that is fundamentally contradicting that aspect. So this is where they found the trouble with Ahmadiyas.
Yes, they are where they find their trouble, because they look for trouble. But the Ahmadis themselves, they recognize Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anybody.
But
no, wait a minute, I'm coming.
His reign now.
I'm coming. What they always claim is their Ghulam Ahmad is a Mahdi.
Yes.
That's what they talk about. He's a Mahdi.
He's a prophet.
No, they don't claim it. I had never seen, for me, who tell me that Mahdi is a prophet after Muhammad. That's not my deal. And even if they say it...
But when you have Muhammad, where do you get somebody else equal to him?
You said Khatimul Anbiya, Khatimul Rusul in the Holy Quran. He's the final, which I believe. I believe he's the final prophet. That's what I believe.
If somebody's entertaining...
Okay, if
somebody else...
That is his business. Am I asked to condemn him, or am I asked to kill him? Or am I asked to... No. If I can persuade him, fine, I will do. If not, I will leave him with his belief. What of those who deny even they claim to be Muslim and they don't pray? They claim to be Muslim and they don't fast. They claim to be Muslim, they drink alcohol. They claim to be Muslim, they do whatever they want. And you are seeing that he never opened their mouth to talk about it. So what I'm saying is, we have our relation. For example, they are Gambians like any other Gambia. We must respect that. Number two, they are human beings. Humanity itself, the Holy Quran urges us to respect and dignify humanity, because Allah himself dignified humanity. And then they are our neighbors in one way or the other.
Or ourselves.
We live together. You see, and then for me, as far as I'm concerned, out of experience I'm talking about,
yes,
they are very friendly. You know, I have encountered them. So many imams are talking today, I have more experience than them.
Absolutely.
Me, I was born in the imamship house. My father was born in the imamship house. His father was born in the same thing. So we know what we are doing. And not only that, I travel all over the world. And not only that, I encountered so many difficulties. I was kept in jail for 6 good months. Absolutely. Where was the imams at that time? And they know what I was saying was right. They know it very well. But let me tell you, the Ahmadis, under the leadership of Baba Tarawale, he makes sure he visited my house, regularly. Can you imagine? And extend his hands of help to my family whilst I was in jail. Is that not humanity?
Naturally, that's typical of Ahmadiyya.
And we all have witnessed the kind of help and assistance.
The humanitarian,
the schools,
socio-economic,
exactly. And those one, let those one be our relation, and the rest let Allah judge it. Let Allah judge it.
Even if we can accommodate religions that are completely different from Islam, we tolerate and accommodate and live.
Yes.
why would we not accommodate something that looks similar, much more similar to Islam than other religions? The fundamental thing, when you take this argument, they will say, no, that's where the trouble is. These other people, we know they are Christians. These other people, we know they are Baha'is. These other people, we know they are Hindus or whatever. Yes. But here are people who call themselves Muslims. Yet they believe that there is another prophet different from the prophet that Allah said. So therefore, they cannot be Muslims. You first have to believe there's God, and then Muhammad is the prophet. That's what Islam said. So they said, if somebody else is entertaining the belief that somebody else is there equal to, or perhaps more superior than Muhammad, then you can call that person a Muslim. That's the argument the other side have.
Yeah,
How do you reconcile?
Actually, that's the argument, not their argument. It's originated from Pakistan itself. That's why they are exiled to UK. They build up their power and their headquarters from UK and spread all over the world. You understand? But what I'm saying here is, Islam asks us to believe the finality of prophecy from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
We all agree.
So if somebody doesn't agree,
So if somebody is not agree, that doesn't mean attack them and kill them.
no.
You understand? Leave them alone.
Yes, of course.
Leave them alone. But the benefits they are giving out, we are all benefiting out of them. I know my own brother, Omar Jallo, studied from Nusra High School. And as far as I know,
Yeah, Ahmadiyya
Yes.
Hospital in Sibano.
yes, and as far as I know,
Sorry, in Bans. Where's the hospital again? In Bans.
yes, and as far as I know,
Sorry, in Tallinn.
no, there's one big hospital in Basse too.
Basse too.
As far as I know, Ahmadism subject had never been taught in any school, in their schools. No.
Yes, that's right, yes.
And as far as I know, I have some friends, one like late Ibrahim Ambo. He's a childhood friend to me. He had never tried to convince me about Ahmadism. So if he's an Ahmadis, I'm a regular Muslim, I'm fine with it. What we should deal with, our commonalities, we respect it and follow it and build up a better society, better humanitarian society. The rest Allah will judge.
So that's why naturally you spoke against the near persecution of them on the Jambe.
Of course, yes. Because there are people who attack them and stop them from burying their dead ones at the Kanifing graveyard. And that has nothing to do. Even if you are buried in the holy prophet's graveyard and you don't do good, you don't have Allah's mercy, you are not going to paradise. That is Allah's own property to decide, not me and you and any other person for that matter.
Okay, let's move on to Human Rights Commission. Recently, I saw your office were with the police, either to train them or to capacitize them on aspects of human rights. When human rights issues are reported to your commission involving the police, what kind of things do they come? Here and there you hear, well, we have suspects, or rather we have a criminal, we handed them to the police, released them, like it was alleged in the case of the murder suspect that has just been arrested, who escaped from prison. What kind of reports complaints do you have at the Human Rights Commission from people as related to the police?
Well, let me make a disclaimer before talking about human rights here. I'm not the spokesperson of human rights.
Yeah, but you have commission.
And I'm not representing them here. But being a commissioner, and this question comes, I have all the right to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I know human rights issues all over the world is protected, number one, by the police. It's their duty to know really what human rights is all about. Human rights is all about humanity. It's all about giving the human being his human dignity, no matter what kind of crime he committed. Arrest him with humanity, take him to jail with humanity, do your investigation without torturing, without inhumaning his humanity, and the like. So those need to be understood properly, to be discussed with, to learn. In as much as we are calling the police, we are building their capacity, we are working with them, they are all also building our capacity indirectly. For me, I'm learning so many things from them. When we engage them, the way they work, and the perception they have, which is very important for any commissioner also to learn, because they are not empty heads. You know, one problem we had in the Gambia, and it's very difficult to eradicate in our minds. Before, the police is full of school dropouts. Before. Unlike today. Today, you have police officers with bachelors, you have police officers with masters, you have police with very good levels, given the opportunity, they'll have their degrees immediately. So, the police institution today, it become an intellectual institution. So, thereby, we understand that
you want to believe that with that advanced stage of their level, you think there will be more room now for ethical
of course,
conduct.
Of course, yes. And you know, we came from a regime.
Yet you hear occasionally police.
Of course, some of them are just charming like you. The charms and they misbehave at times.
You hear police excesses like
yes,
the way the people were being detained.
That's where we are connected with them. If you hear police excesses, normally it is published in newspapers. We will have the report too. And when we have the report, we step in, do our investigation, and see what is necessary to be done. What is doable, we do it. What is not doable, we advise. Because we are also an advisory body to the government and to everybody in this country. You understand? So what I wanted to say is, remember the regime where we came from also, who have painted human rights and make it it looks very Eurocentric. Anybody talk about human rights, the answer is, hey, human right is not a deen, it's not a religion. It's already given and emphasized and buttressed by religion itself. Islam itself has human right and respect your right. Lakum dinukum waliya din.
Okay.
That's the maximum verse that one can express human right in Islam. And there's another verses. Man sa'afal yu'minu, man sa'afal yakfur, inna atarna lil zalimina, up to the end of the ayah. So there are many verses that one can relate and learn and understand deeply what all about is human rights and religion.
Okay, what do you make of it? I know the national human rights, very vocal in your advocacy, in the protection of the liberties, the freedom of speech, freedom of liberty, freedom of association, etc. But you are not very open when it comes to freedom of different sexualities.
Yes.
For example, I remember the famous quarrel your commission had with the media, when the media picked the fact about you urging the government to respect all rights, and when you suggested that these rights included gays, you kind of backtrack and said, probably never said exactly that.
No, we had never
protect gays.
We had never backtracked.
So
what we are saying.
What do you have trouble with saying that you are supposed to protect gays?
No, wait a minute. What we are saying is, this human right found us in our religion, our culture, and our constitution. And in the human rights, we are asked and urged as all Gambians to respect the constitution. What is in the constitution, that is the way exactly the wishes of the people. And we cannot go beyond that. But at the same time, we have been saying about due process. What due process means? You cannot see Mr. Cham there and accuse him human right and hit him or insult him. That's not right. Or you see somebody opposing your politics as it was before the last regime, and they accuse you to be a gay. So a bunch of them and put them to jail, and you didn't have any proof, any evidence. All what you know is their opposition. Because at that time, you can label anybody as gay because he's opposing your politics. Not today. So all what we are saying is, respect humanity, number one. In as much as no one has the right to follow me to see how do I do with my wife in my bedroom, you don't have the right to follow any other person. It's a sacred Practice is something related to two people who engage to that. You get my point? So, but there are certain people, what they want is for Imam Baba to be on his pulpit insulting, accusing people about gay, that's not my topic, that's not my area. My area is to convince those who do, if they were doing it, to stop it. I don't really get my message.
Okay. And they would say all over the world, the arguments these gay people and said, which you said, our constitution, you are suggesting that our constitution did not say specifically gay rights and other things must not be.
It condemned it. The constitution does not encourage it.
It condemned it.
Yes.
All right. Now, what stops you from making it, your team and your summons, you hardly talk about it.
I hardly talk about it, but at times when need be, I talk about it. Because I'm not dictated to what I'm talking on my pulpit, number one. Number two, remember these gay issues.
Yes.
You had Donald Trump recently.
Absolutely.
He said all what I know in America is man and woman, which I applaud.
Yes.
I appreciate that very well. Even in America itself, there are states who condemn it. They are not to behave, they are arrested.
Okay.
You understand?
So Jamano was right in being very, 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 very strong against gay content. It was to the point that he said he was going to slaughter them. I wouldn't
say if he's right or wrong here. Why? Because Jammeh had never respected due process. If Jammeh followed due process and these gay people were treated as they're supposed to legally and they are found guilty, then it's up to him to decide. Because it's unlawful as far as Gambia is concerned. It's unlawful.
But when he took that stance, everybody condemned him around. Perhaps you did not agree with him that they should be killed they should be killed if they are proven to be, in activities that are, homosexual or gay.
You see, for me, I don't want to be killed. I don't want anybody to be killed. For whatever reason, wherever you find kill, there is forgiveness.
Well, that's Jammeh's way of
there is forgiveness.
Yeah.
Why can't we use forgiveness rather than killing?
Okay, most governments in Africa said, well, okay, it is condemned. We may not have problems with it, like you said, if it happens in the secrecy of a bedroom.
It's their business.
But to promote it is what they don't want. Like for two people to hold and hire the Kanifing Father Farrell Hall and said we are going to do a wedding between people of the same sex.
I will never encourage that. Because my religion doesn't encourage it. My culture doesn't encourage it. My constitution doesn't encourage it.
So if you don't encourage in public, why would you encourage? Why would you not condemn it in secret?
No. What do you call secret? We are here condemning it. What are you calling it secret? I'm not part of it.
You said if it happens in secrecy of the bedroom, I can follow.
That's their business. That's their business, what I said. But that doesn't mean I don't condemn it.
But even if I know it's happening in the
where are you going to arrest them?
If the constitution
are you going to arrest them?
The constitution said it should not be, and I know it's happening, I can go there.
Then you should not go there. That's it.
But you said,
are you encouraging it? Are you supporting it to be publicized?
No, but
that's all.
But if you said it should not be promoted in public,
it should not.
But you got to know that it's happening in the secrecy of bedrooms. You know, and it's clear to you. You can go.
Let me give you a short story here that will help us and save all of us here. During the Khilafatul Sayyidina Umar, he was very strong leader. During his Khilafah time, there was one night he visited the street of Medina. He heard some noise. He entered, he found them drinking alcohol. He advised for them to be arrested and be handled properly because it's illegal there. The guy, before they arrest him, he said to Sayyidina Umar, I think we offended, but you entered in our premises without what you did is spying. And the Holy Quran is saying, وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ. Okay. So if wherever we are punished, you will also be punished. say that Omar drop everything and advise them and go. You understand?
I understand.
He who have the respect and the guts to hide himself, let him with his Lord. The Lord is the biggest seer of everything, and nothing cannot happen behind his doors.
So
Thank you.
You mean the solution to all this problem is for us to try to live in harmony with each other despite our differences,
Yes.
more or less?
That's why we are created.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about current matters. The National Assembly is still battling with what to do with the 2024 Constitution, but then they are looking at the election bill, which had a lot of controversy, especially Clause 14, which would have enabled diaspora people, Gambians living in United Kingdom, in America, in Switzerland, anywhere, to be able to vote. But the modalities is still a sticking point. We see people who are connected with the governing National People's Party voted against this thing. There's a backlash. There was an attempt to bring it back, yet the same people will not allow it. What is your position as a Commission of Human Rights and as Baba Leigh on the continuous denial, so to speak, as the critics would call it, of the diaspora voting rights?
Well, I'm somebody who want to see Gambia where everybody enjoy his right, being in the country or outside. I'm one of those who support for the diaspora to vote, really. And in fact, we have so many, complaints from the diaspora to our office. And we table it, and we are working on it. And we wrote to IEC, we wrote to Parliament, we wrote to all stakeholders about it. And they know our position as Human Rights Commission. We want them to be included, to be involved as Gambians, as they are included in our economic, they are included in our everything that we are doing. But here I realize some misperception or understanding, so to say. That is, people are thinking that the executive or the ruling party is the one that denying them votes.
Well, that's what it seems in
Because the way you frame the question, I can smile that.
No, not only that. What happened in the assembly is what people are
Okay. Here, then they are missing the ball.
Yeah, people saw them vote against it. You said
No. I mean, if that is true,
that's what happened.
the ruling party is missing the ball.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
Because the diaspora don't think they are all oppositions.
Yeah, later.
No, you have so many diehards of Barrow and diehards of NPP.
Yes. Well, I later had...
No, that's the fact.
Saying that, well,
that's the fact. That's the fact. You know, you have some very few who are more vocal than others. But here, they only judge people that they hear from the radio, from the social media, and they think the whole diaspora are like that. That's not true. There are some people who...
So you mean if the fear was that if we allow them votes, they would normally not agree with the government of the day, you mean that fear is unfounded? They could have supporters.
Of course, yes. Because it's their right. Even if they don't support you, it's their right to be given to them.
Very good point.
That's my starting point.
Especially because why is the government keen on, getting people who, supposedly live in Guinea-Bissau, in Senegal, Mauritania, they call them Gambians, they will even assist. Politicians would have, I think politicians from all across all divide will assist them to come and vote here. But those who are in America and the UK, they wouldn't like them to be.
Yeah, because they think those ones, they are encouraging non-Gambians to involve in our votes. They think they vote for them. That's why they do it. But it's not right. That one should be filtered out completely.
You mean the people in the neighborhood?
The people in the neighborhood are not who are not Gambians.
That's where the problem is.
Yeah, because mind you,
politicians will encourage non-Gambians who are in the neighborhood and bring them and parade them as Gambians.
That's wrong.
All right, and they will deny genuine Gambians, bona fide Gambians who are in America.
That's what I'm saying. That is wrong, and it have been a Gambian political practices long time
Since
ago.
Jawara's days.
I can remember since Jawara's days,
Yes, that's true.
people from Casamas, people from Salum
Yes.
participating in our elections.
Yes.
That should be stopped.
As for Jambe, it was in the open. That
No, as for Jame, Jame, I like him for one thing.
He doesn't even hide.
He doesn't care.
Yes.
Because I can fully remember they used to bring about 6 to 7 buses
Lodge them in
from Mauritania and take it to Friendship Hostel.
Yeah, people see that.
Some of them, they lodged them behind my residence in Kanifing at the youth center.
Yes.
And I used to ask them, if they are Gambians, why they don't go to their residence and vote there?
But must we follow the same?
But you see, that's the reason also he failed.
Yeah, that eventually
Because the time all those cards
Yeah.
are kept in their political bureau,
some soldiers went and
some soldiers have access and destroyed them.
maybe maybe the new players leave them with theirs.
Now, the fact is we Gambians, we like democracy. But all what we like about democracy is the democracy that favors us. And that's not democracy.
The one that is convenient.
Yes, that is convenient to us. That's not right.
That is not right.
That's not right. What is right is where it favors you, where it's convenient for you, grab it.
Consistent.
Where it's not convenient for you, please.
So where you have a choice, Babali, to advise whether it's the parliamentarians or the executive about this diaspora voting, you will tell them, get it done.
Of course, yes. Look, I don't hide my opinion. Leave it or take it. I'm saying here on air,
Yeah.
in camera. In fact, this one is go longer than what I can tell to the parliamentarians.
Yeah.
I am fully convinced that it's their right to vote, and it's the duty of the IEC to support them and facilitate that. That's what I'm saying. Look, I'm a commissioner of election too.
Yeah.
I participate on so many elections in the sub-region.
That's true. In fact, I'm coming there. Now, going to the IEC, we know that the chairman has retired, and the president, who is empowered by the constitution to get a chairman, is probably working on getting a chairman. But looking at what happened and the state of IEC and your experience, if you had to advise president, would you advise he pick somebody from the existing members of the commission, or would you now recommend somebody who perhaps come from some other domain who's a person of reputable standing in the community? Or?
Cham, you are just practicing your journalism ideas.
You have an opinion.
But there are criteria already set.
Yes, absolutely. But there are people in
For me, anybody who qualify and meet those criteria is the right and prerogative of the president to choose as going with the constitution. Let him choose him or her. But if I am advising,
that's what I want.
yes, if I am advising, I will advise for him to take somebody who is completely independent for party politics. I'm not saying politics generally, because we are all politicians in one way or the other, but party politics, who is known from a party or contributed in any way.
No, the law, in fact,
yes,
doesn't
should not.
accept it.
Because if I can remember, there was a time, I don't know, was it Shola? Somebody, he's my good friend, he was suggested.
That is Remy Joyner.
Remy, thank you.
Yeah.
But the country nearly break to pieces.
Well, he is known to be close to the NPP in
Yes,
Banjul.
yes. So I'm sure they are bearing in mind those also not to happen again.
No, those are no-go areas. But I'm thinking of, well, some people might be suggesting that to pick somebody from within the commission, given the fact that they are having a lot of credibility, allegations of credibility issues, and also against the other option of getting somebody who's probably never having tendered with such allegations,
That's why I said it's the right and prerogative of the president to decide, to pick from those who are already there, who have already experience, who know how it works, or to pick somebody who is completely innocent from outside. That is it. And mind you, see, President Barrow, the way people look at him and the way he is different now. Yes, I'm telling you that. You know, in the beginning, he came innocently. And he made very clear, you help me, because I don't know anything in civil service, or I don't know anything in presidency. He made it very clear.
Yes.
But this man have been there for 8 years now.
Now he knows.
That's what I believe. And he have interacted with many very knowledgeable people. And he learned from the field. So I want to believe that it's time for people to raise their understanding that he came from Muslim high school. It doesn't end from there. Knowledge of leadership is not in any university. Wisdom is a God-given property, and he gave it to whoever he wishes. That's why he said, وَمَنْ أُوتِيَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا وَلَا يَذَّكَّرُ إِلَّا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. He said, he who I give wisdom, I give a great success and peace, but never realize it. Only those
People with wisdom definitely have everything.
Yes. So really, I think as the chance and opportunity is given to the president, he will do the right thing.
Good.
If he doesn't do the right thing, we are here. We all will sound again. Yes.
Okay, still talking about issues in the parliament and the constitution. You know, the 2024 draft, which came after the 2020 draft, sparked a lot of controversy. And one of the, or let's say, two main keys that really people don't seem to be happy about is one, the excessive powers given to the president, and the fact that it did not specifically show any commitments to 2 terms for the president, the term limit for the president. It just left it open. And the argument about that, the people close to the governing NPP and President Barrow himself thought that they probably did not do 2 terms. They've done only 1 term, because they consider the initial 5-year term as a
Coalition government.
Coalition government. But everybody knows that Barrow was sworn in 2017, and next year it will be 10 years. So nobody can argue sensibly that he's done only 1 term. He definitely did 2 terms. If somebody's going to ask you as a way of advice, being an opinion leader, being somebody who has played a key role in the politics of the religion of the country, if you have to advise President Barrow, where he has a choice to go for another term or to end at the 2nd term, what would you tell him?
Well, you see, Mr. Cham, this question is very flimsy and clumsy.
No, it's not clumsy.
No, wait.
It's the point.
You know why?
Okay,
you know why?
Let me help. If I am to advise President Barrow, I will tell him, Mr. President, you have a greater opportunity to leave a more glorious legacy that you even contemplate by leaving at the end of your 2nd term. You will have more glory than ever. If I am to advise him,
Yes.
out
You know the
Babali is going to do it.
Yeah, you know the argument here is not for him to leave with his 2nd term. The argument is he in 2nd term? Because there's what those who arguing that the first 5 years was on coalition.
Babali, when was Barrow sworn in?
No. He spent 10 days there. 10 years. You understand?
And a term is how many years?
If you can remember.
A term is how many years?
No, wait a minute. You don't put the word on in my mouth. Okay, let me speak openly and freely.
Okay, go ahead.
If I am to advise him and he is to adhere my advice, is for him to leave
There you go.
for the benefit of his own life, and there's a life after presidency, which he really knew. But do I know his 2nd term, those who surrounding him, and what he's going to take? I don't know.
But he said.
No.
He said his reasons. He had talked and contemplated of leaving. But for the sake of his party people felt that the party is too new, that when he leaves, then that the party may die. That's what he said, exactly.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
And with due respect, I will respect him with his opinion as the president of this country. But that will not disturb me or stop me from advising him. Because, people should know advisor is just an advisor.
Yes.
Just say your opinion.
Yes,
and the
right.
one you advise is not a fool.
No, but your opinion.
Yes, he can take or leave it. But at the same time, I want to elaborate a bit.
But your opinion is that
I will advise him to leave.
You think you will advise him to
if
leave a legacy?
If I have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because, Barrow is such a
you have an opportunity here. Barrow watches this program.
No. It might be.
That's an opportunity.
Might be, but if
you don't need to be invited to State House over dinner to say
no, I prefer to be invited there
so that because I was there 2 days ago for iftar.
Yeah, but for me
with the Fab Foundation and Africa.
You see, I
didn't have a chance to see him because they were busy.
They are busy, but
it's
a different thing with when he invites you for consultation.
Yes.
You see, when he invites you for consultation, you can elaborate and explain and justify your opinion and your advices. Unlike radio here. Radio here, people will go and talk to him there. Hey, you had your man. You had Mr. Chawat. You understand?
But you
so
what you would say to him in that consultation is the same as what you.
No, you don't.
Or there you're gonna tell him, Mr. President, this is.
Yes, that is a different thing.
You're even more blunt.
No. You see, Imam Shafi'i. Imam Shafi'i.
Who is he?
Imam Shafi'i is one of our biggest scholars when it comes to school of thought. He said, don't advise your friend in public. Advising your friend is public is embarrassment and ridiculing them.
What even on a public matter?
Not even in a public matter. If you have the opportunity to advise your friend.
You cannot reprimand your friend in public.
No.
I agree that you cannot reprimand your friend in public.
I don't speak English. I'm not good in English.
But you can advise
No. Reprimand here.
Reprimand means.
I don't know what. In fact, I don't want to know it here.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, if you really mean Cham is your friend, whether you reprimand him or you advise him, you have the access to sit with him. You will have more opportunity to explain and defend your ideas and listen to him too. Unlike media. Media is a different thing. And you see...
but you have had his argument. I told you what he said.
I told you my argument here too.
Okay,
you just want to go deeper.
So we had both of them.
Yes, you had both of them. But let me elaborate a bit. You see, term limit issue in our constitution. We all love it because we don't want anybody to maintain power
Even
so long.
President Cicero is very committed to it. The problem is when
it become your property and you become missing the ball without realizing it. But it's not a verse in the Holy Quran. It's not something that everybody practice. Germany, they don't have 2 terms.
That's true.
England, they don't have term limit.
That's true. Yes.
Most European countries, they don't have term limit.
That is true.
You understand? So why I'm saying this, I don't want the Gambian public also to think that anybody against term limit is a criminal or is a bad man or is anti the country or he's an enemy to the nation. Because you see, no, allow me to learn, please. Allow me to learn.
Yeah.
You see, Gambians, our attitude, we easily label people whom we have different in opinion. And that's not right. You should respect me with my opinion. If I believe in 10 years, 20 years without term limit, please respect me with that. If you believe term limit for 4 years, 5 years, I must respect you on that.
Like you said before.
Yes, but let us keep the country going and development going and peace prevailing. That is what is more important as far as I'm concerned. With all this that I have already said, I'm one of those who support 2-term limit. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, let's move on now to Senegal, finally. You have been following Senegalese politics since now. It's been a year now since the new government comes to power. In fact, I've never had your opinion on the change there. Do you believe what people call this the era for youth revolution now that is going to spread all over in West Africa, including the Gambia?
Well, you know what is happening in Senegal? It's not a secret. Not at all. And what they call revolution and revolt is a different thing.
Yes.
Because I think as far as we are concerned, we all believe Macky Sall was one of the best African presidents ever, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And that is the way the world view him.
Before now or even now you believe?
No, now he's no longer president.
No, I mean until he left, you still hold that view up to now. Now from what we have had now.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't believe on so many words I'm hearing because they are not yet to be proven. Yes, they are yet to be proven.
You didn't know that he locked up his opponents and didn't want them to contest elections?
Yes, because they destroy shops, they destroy petrol station, they destroy even the library of the Antejob University in my presence. That was in my presence.
They did that, wantonly, or they were protesting?
That's why I said revolution and revolt is different.
So what happened to Senegal?
Okay, what happened to Senegal? Well, it's a new regime that who find himself or themselves in power.
Yeah, and so?
Whereas now they came to realize what they were expecting and what they find there is different.
Okay.
That
happens in every dispensation.
Yes.
What you could say outside when you get in, you know that.
Donald Trump said it once for his first presidency. He said, seeing the White House at a distance is different with when you are in.
That's true.
And that's what happened. So you will see they made a lot of campaign promises that they cannot fulfill.
Really?
Of course, they cannot.
What?
Oh, of course, what they promised.
No,
they promised so many things.
Yeah,
I'm not against them.
They've only been there for 12 months.
Yes, but they promised to make effect the change within 2 weeks. That's what they promised.
They must have to have legislative power, and they put in legislation.
And they have it.
Yes, they are now working.
Yes, you can say they are working. I don't know whether they are working or they are not. But what I know, all my opinion is based on hearsay. What I hear.
If you were to go to Senegal today, all the prices for basic commodities have come down, and they didn't do that by reducing tax. No, rather they went into where the suppliers get them, and they get it there as a government. They take responsibility and bring it to the country. So no one middlemen. They cut all middlemen and all unnecessary. Middlemen as far as essential goods are concerned.
That's the news to me.
Goods are very cheap.
I didn't know. You are educating me. I didn't know that.
They do that.
So you know much better than I do.
And they are going after people who are allegedly been involved in corruption. You must have heard the upheaval about Farbangom and others. Fai, the brother of, in fact, the court have now.
Mansour Fai.
Yeah, the court has now allowed him to travel.
But you know what we are doing here right now, legally is unacceptable. We are discussing issues that are on case.
No, I'm trying to tell you what the government has been doing.
No, but you are telling me that but those cases are not yet.
Yeah, but they have.
And if you say about Farbangom, it's not yet determined. He's not yet guilty. Let us allow the case to finish.
But you already had this vast amount of properties that one man could get, and the amount of money he deposited even. To get his freedom before his case determined over hundreds of millions of dollars.
It was denied.
No,
I had that.
So if one individual could get that vast piece of land from here to Njamokurai in Casamance, or he got land everywhere.
Well, I will have a very positive opinion that he's a hard worker. Yes.
You will not suspect that he got that.
No, I don't want to base my suspicion in a negative manner to anybody. Because you see, there are people in Senegal who are far richer than Farbangom. They are there. There are very rich people like Haruna Jah. Those can buy.
This government believe that this new Senegalese government believe that they got all this, well, quote unquote, ill-gotten wealth through their underworks with Macky Sall.
Well, that's what they said also with Mansour Fai. Now they allow Mansour Fai to travel.
Well, that's court.
Because they are following that one also. Maybe at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm not assuming anything. But I will not be part of those who accuse Farbangom negatively at the moment.
So do you believe, as most people believe, that this is settling of all scores? Like they are kind of been vindictive because they suffered on the Macky Sall, so they're going after Macky Sall's people.
Well, there are people who believe that. And it's very similar to a government that is revenging in one way or the other. And I don't think if that will be a good thing to the average Senegalese. Because you see, Cham, we are all from one community. So if they can, as Imam Abdullah Job once told President Jammeh, that close all the old files and open new files and move on.
Did Jammeh do that? No, he didn't.
They never do that. But that's why you see how he entered. Because really, fighting can only be an obstruction to development.
I see. Revenge stands.
Yes. And you see now, investors are no longer investing in Senegal at the moment because of uncertainties.
Perhaps that may have to do with the fact that Senegal, the government under Macky Sall, in fact, hide the country's debt portfolio.
No, well, you are saying that, but IMF is denying that. What you are saying is completely different.
I'm confirmed. You didn't
No.
confirmed. I can show you.
No.
I can show you that they are confirmed.
I had it and I read it. I have the paper. The IMF
Confirmed.
is saying that Senegal should come with evidence that Macky Sall's government has hidden.
Perhaps you're not updated. If I give you a fresh report from IMF now, it's confirming that.
Well, I am yet to see that what you are talking about.
Well, I am more updated when it comes to news than you.
Yeah, of course you that's your area.
Ustaz Imam Babali. Well, we are on the crust of the end of a very holy moon, and I will give you the opportunity to close this program. Something that has to do with the Ramadan and or the Eid. What should we expect?
Well, we expect to celebrate the end of the Ramadan in a very Islamic way. That is, keeping our prayers in touch, extending our generosities to those who need it, and visiting the sickly persons in the hospital, and extending our help to those in prison, and remembering our Diaspora people and pray for them, and try to avoid the sea as our young ones do always, going to the sea,
Going to the beach,
and messing around with this traffic. And I'm urging drivers to take care and drive slowly and carefully so that we will all enjoy our celebration. And then if the moon have been sight, I will urge all Muslims to pray together. If it is not, let us continue till Monday. There's no harm. There is no harm in it. That is what unifies us. And anything that unifies us in the face of Allah, that's what Allah wants. That's why Allah created us as one ummah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Imam Babali of the Kanifing East Mosque and a commissioner on the National Human Rights Commission. Thank you very much for being on the brunch. I know Leigh Kunda are counting the hours.
Yes, of course, we are counting it.
For them, they hope that it ends today. I'm ready to go.
We wish it end today.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
We'll be back next week with more brunch. Oh, that will be real brunch because the Ramadan would have gone. Thank you.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yonna Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yonna Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yonna Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yonna Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yonna Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yonna head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yonna branch located countrywide near you.
Jamano Money Transfer Bureau de Change, your go-to option when it comes to money transfer. With Jamano, you can send money from anywhere in the world to your family and loved ones in the Gambia and be sure the funds will be delivered to them within the shortest time possible. For your convenience, funds sent through Jamano Money Transfer can be picked from all the banks and multiple other financial institutions, including Ajib Bank, Trust Bank, GT Bank, Mega Bank, Basic Bank, Reliance Financial Services, and Approved Services. Visit our head office at Bruceby opposite AfricMed next to Trust Bank Limited or email us at info@jamanomt.com. You can as well call us on 310-3050 or 310-3051 or yet still 733-0688. Our opening hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Jamano Money Transfer, your most trusted money transfer service where customer satisfaction is paramount. When you think of a simple, fast, and reliable money transfer, think Jamano Money Transfer.
Agada
Mbijan aganya
albaka
mbaka important
yo nga transfer la sto
ya transfer la
ha code nyinji
okay person nsila ID soto
sa soto sorry agada
mbijan bro
albaka
mbaka
bara alla service o tariya
mbare
ki janna nun kunu bara tariya
jannom Yonna forest de bureau Gambia tonkon nano mbali ya bere birin koyna fo kato
bari si kodo kino kato nim fo bolong blabe to
56 branches mola soto Gambia jam
ha
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol nko kodo kiya bere kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi to poto nin kodi maraw jannom number 1 di nyonta andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale wala nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale de dadi ma ni domorol ni fana be teata Gambia dawda yalo ngam fa kendol sotale je
wo moyo diat
apelenta
ni wo ka ni lafta nyelen kendol e binaji
yalo bu kanila ko la baraka ba
yalo ndel chosano lo
abaraka